All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brittany Tan, Coordinator of Communications for Ronald Electric.
And I'm Patrice Jordan, Member Services Representative for Ronald Electric.
And we will be moderating today's session, and we're excited to welcome you to our Kickoff Power Hour webinar series for 2022. So I would like to ask everyone first to please mute yourselves, turn off your cameras for the duration of the presentations until the end, where we'll open it up for some Q&A and we'll get your concerns and questions answered. As you all know, and as our director, Alan Speller, alluded to, the pandemic has changed a lot when it came to many of our events. However, we're still committed to maintaining both the health and safety of all while increasing the engagement with our member owners and community members, no matter the platform. And thankfully, today's webinar is no different. So what resources are available to turn your land into a valuable asset? What power solution opportunities can help your business work more efficiently? These are just among some of the many questions that will be addressed during today's hour-long program. So now I'll turn it over to Ivory as she will be introducing Mr. Columbus Jeffers to give our invocation.
All right, thank you, Brittany. All right, so Columbus Jeffers of Roanoke Rapids has served on the Roanoke Electric Co-op Board of Directors since 2011 for District 1. A native of Halifax, he also serves on various other boards, both past and present. As for the co-op's future, Jeffers hopes to continue to strive for affordability, not only for electricity, but also for broadband services. Quote, I am confident that Roanoke will continue to provide products and services that meet the diverse needs of our member owners and stand out as a pillar in the surrounding communities.
And Mr. Jeffers, we'll turn it over to you to do the invocation.
Okay, let us all bow, please. Dear God, we're so grateful unto you for all that you do for us. We thank you so much for the love that you have shown us all. Father, we thank you for Roanoke Electric and the many blessings you have shown this wonderful member owner company. Lord God, we ask today that this meeting will be successful and touch all of our member owners that are viewing here today. Thank you for the staff that has put this wonderful event together. Father, we ask blessings upon all, and of course, we ask blessings upon all nations of the world. Father God, we ask that there will be peace in the world, especially over in Ukraine. God, keep us in your care. This is our blessings. This is our prayer in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jeffers, for that invocation. Next, we will hear from our panelists of co-op staff, member owners, local farmers, and a representative of the co-op Sustainable Forestry Program. Please note, we will have a Q&A session once all the panelists have presented, so feel free to put any questions you may have in the chat. There will be answered during the Q&A session. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Brittany to introduce our first panelist.
Thank you, Ivory. So our first panelist is Mr. Alton Perry, Director of the Co-op Sustainable Forestry and Land Retention Project. As the program director, Alton is always planting seeds for change with the hope of making a difference in the lives of local forest landowners. Alton, I turn it over into your hands.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Brittany. It's a great pleasure to be here to share a little bit about our project here at Roanoke Electric. So the Sustainable Forestry and Land Retention Project started in 2013. And this project aligns very well, if you will, with Roanoke Electric's mission, specifically the very end of their mission statement, enhancing the quality of life in the diverse communities we serve. This part of North Carolina is very, very rich in natural resources. And a lot of those natural resources, specifically with our underserved landowners, are not really being put to use as an asset. So this project is doing that to work with landowners across the project area to increase asset values and reduce the risk of land loss. through the different means. Next slide, please. So these are just a few of our goals across the project. And it aligns around with access, getting access to technical resources, access to financial assistance to implement forestry and conservation practices, access to finding contractors and those who work in the forestry world, consulting foresters within the timber industry to have valuable timber sales, and also to provide access to information and guidance around implementing strategies on succession planning. Next, please. So the real core of the project is connecting landowners to USDA and many of our other conservation and forestry related partners, connecting them through USDA programs to access funding and technical assistance, different programs to reforest an area that's been harvested, to do timber stand improvement practices, wildlife enhancement practices, and all of these different conservation measures that will assist us in having clean water, clean air, and wildlife habitat, and also adding value to their forest land. Next, please. So here is just a few of the metrics or numbers across our project area since its inception. Over 20,000 acres under management at this time, 167 landowners who have received forest management plans and implementing practices on those plans. And also, as I mentioned, access to financial assistance. Over $600,000 been awarded to landowners through the USDA, Natural Resources Conservation Service, state programs, foundations, and also through forest industry. Next, please. And this project would not be the success of everyone involved. Our partners, here is a list of our partners. Also support from our landowners participating in the program, the support we get from Roanoke Electric and the Roanoke Center to make this project such a success. And speaking of success and involvement and support from our landowners, we are going to have you hear from one of our project landowners. We're excited to hear from her in just a moment. Okay, so our project landowner is Dr. Terry Wade Lyles and her husband, Julius. They came into the project in 2019, and they are enthusiastic landowners in the Edenton area in Chowan County. And Dr. Lyles and her husband have taken great advantage of the resources of the project and our partners. And so just want to give her this opportunity and give her as much time that we are allotted to really let you see the work that she's done through the project to reach their landowner goals. Dr. Lyles, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alton, and thanks everyone for having me. We are over in Chowan County, Edenton, and a part of our journey brings us from the Cleveland, Ohio area and into the Edenton area. And I just want to tell you a little bit about me. I am 50-something, looking forward to retiring in 2025. And I'm also a big part of my life and role, as you'll see, as a landowner, as being a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and I am, thank goodness, very determined because this journey has been quite challenging for us. We purchased the land in April 2017. The land sits in 21 plus acres in a gated community there in Edenton. And some of our challenges have come up with the fact that there was a pre-existing unfinished home on the property. And you'll get a little glimpse of that home in our pictures there. So some of our challenges have been extensive wetlands, flooding. We've had some issues with getting some materials burned on the property, but we are pleased to say and to share that our after pictures, because this is what it looks like now. So I wanted you to see the worst of it and what we've been able to do over the last few years with the support and help of the Sustainable Forestry Project. Next slide. So our resources were limited, but we've been able to get some great advice, and through that great advice and those partnerships, we've really been able to make it work. And these just show some of the work that we've done as a family, equipment that we've had to rent to move through and to develop our land. My son is a restoration, has his degree in restoration science. He is an environmental scientist. I have a daughter that's got a marine biology background, a husband that's an aquarist. And so we bring about a wealth of skill to the property that we've had to use along with the support that we've gotten. Next slide. So our goal, I want to talk about our vision and our goal. So our vision is we have formed a sustainable agricultural conservation ourselves as an organization, but we want to also have micro farming and aquaponics practices. Within that, the goal is to become a generational legacy opportunity for our family. Next slide. And so here's the real meat and potatoes of our relationship with the Sustainable Forestry Project. So they have been our thought partners, right? They've given us mentoring and expert advice. I've had the opportunity to network with other landowners, and that is significant, especially being new to the area. And we've had to do a lot of traveling to do our work and to make our progress. And we've also been connected to other support organizations, the USDA, NRCS, North Carolina Forestry, Black Family Land Trust. With that also, we've been able to have some assistance in being our thought partners with how we maximize like this gift that we have of land ownership by helping us to make smart decisions. Also ideas around engaging our children in notions of authentic and active engagement or participation while they're, getting ready to take or to receive the ownership of the land. Speaking of that, also education, conferences, webinars, estate planning. We've had woodland stewards workshops, North Carolina State Forestry Extension, woodland owners newsletter comes through frequently and regularly, forest landowner conferences. We've had the Small Farms Week and the North Carolina AT&T Small Farms Week. With that education, especially that estate planning piece, we've really been able to get some insight on how we best preserve our land ownership for our heirs, along with how do we integrate our skill set in. So all of those things that and you heard me allude to some of them. So we've been able to match them up and get learn more about opportunities to learn about best sustainable land practices. And then with regard to the cost sharing, the legal services, again, being able to actually help us afford being able to do our estate planning. We've gotten assistance with our boundary survey, land forest plan management, and prescribed burning. And with that assistance has really helped us to stretch our bottom line financial line. And that's allowed us to move forward on a number of practices and projects and necessary items that we might have otherwise had to put off. And then last, being advocates. The Sustainable Project really has been advocates, and we look forward to the having broadband availability and access. Because again, although we're retiring, we still work remotely now as we're making that transition, spending time in the area and anticipating the work, continuing to work, and beginning to run a business, and we need reliable access. That's going to be first and foremost. And so with that, I really want to thank Roanoke Electric and the Sustainable Forestry Land and Retention Project for continuing to be our champions and champions of encouragement and assistance as we really lean into our vision. Thanks.
Thanks so much for that great information, Alton and Dr. Lyles. It's great to know all of the resources available to help land and forest owners. Our next panelist is Mr. Bunn. Bill is the coordinator of engineering services for Roanoke Electric Cooperative. He has been employed with the co-op for 30 years and has a vast amount of knowledge in the field. Bill, I give you the floor.
Thank you so much. We're really here just to showcase the work that we're doing, trying to be sure that our member owners have the luxury of being able to improve their situation by providing three-phase power alternatives to solve some of our rural solutions where people only have access to single-phase power. We're working with several different new technologies that are emerging. We've got some in place. What I'd like to do is just let you sit back and listen. We've got a couple of interviews with a couple of our member owners who have been able to accomplish their goals with through cooperation with Roanoke Electric and our alternative three-phase power solutions. So if you do, just look back, listen to the interviews, and everybody be aware, Roanoke Electric's here to advise you, help you to get where you need to be. Even though you're limited with only single-phase power, we will certainly get in and work with you in any avenue that's available to us to help you accomplish your goals. So if you don't mind, just sit back, and we got a couple of interviews for you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bill Bunn with Roanoke Electric Cooperative Engineering Department. We're here today to talk to Mr. Joe Ward about his experience with Roanoke Electric in trying to solve his three-phase needs in a single-phase situation. Mr. Ward?
Well, I worked on this for a while, in my mind for a good while. I finally contacted Bill, found out who to talk to, and he went along getting it done. We went right on and got it done. They had to run the line of ways from one county to the next, and through the woods, and we got it done and got it hooked up, and overall things went very good. And very pleased with it.
You know, we were co-opting in that situation with Gillum and Mason, who provided the VFD, which solved our three-phase issues.
Yeah.
This was a single-phase to three-phase conversion through VFD to run a 90 horsepower pump.
It's 120 by now.
Excuse me, 120. I stand corrected. 120 horsepower pump. I think we did have to oversize the pump to get the flow that we wanted.
It started out with 100.
Right.
But then the big flow, they got it.
Right.
They decided to put the 120 back the next time.
And help you achieve your 80% performance or whatever it was.
A year or two after we had it, we had a big, we had 12 inches of rain in just a few hours, and it flooded. It's supposed to have been high enough not to have been a problem, but it got it. It was a 500-year deals already.
Right. But through our willingness to work with the agribusiness in Eastern North Carolina, and especially REC member owners, we're co-opting with people like Gillum and Mason and Bell Motors or single-phase power solutions. That's another option now. Also, we always go back and look at the standby, which is true three-phase power if we can provide that. But a lot of times that's just not cost effective. So we're looking at other alternative measures to be able to empower farmers like Joe and any other farmers we've got in our service territory to enable them to grow their business while being handicapped by only having single-phase power available. We're here today with Mr. Clint Brinkley. I'm Bill Bunn, Engineering Department with Ronald Collector. We're here to discuss bell motor and how we were able to solve some of Clint's issues with having pivot on this particular farm when single phase power was the only thing that the co-op had available to him. And we looked into different scenarios, VFDs, actually looked into the true three-phase and what that was going to cost. And fortunately, we got in contact with the people at Single Phase Power Solutions and Bell Motors. They were able to help work us through this situation to get to the point where we're at today, which is up and running operation here for Clint. Unfortunately, last year for us was...
No, fortunately.
Well, it depends on which side of the fence you're on.
It rained.
I'm here to sell electricity. So. But anyway, my main thing is just to get a different perspective from Clint as to the cooperation between Roanoke Electric and the agribusiness in the area, and the effort that we're willing to put forth to help find solutions. Not that this is the know-all, be-all solution here, but it's one tool in our bag of things that we could do for you to try to help get you off of the diesel and staying up all night changing oil. And now to mention it right now, we're going through a little fuel spike,
yeah, fuel's
so
high.
Makes this thing a little more attractive even now with the prices of fuel. But you know, just the convenience of it is.
Well, it's very convenient from the standpoint of we're able to get things more automated. We're able to monitor things from our phone. We can start it up with our phones, do things like that. This particular system's not set up that way yet, but it will be eventually. Which saves on fuel, time, and labor running around to all the different farms we have with irrigation on them. And it eliminates the, like you were saying, the fuel. We're hauling fuel down here every day. We're running a 100 kW generator down here 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you can pan over in the background, you see the size of the fuel tank this man's talking about having to fill up. So, which it wasn't burning out all in one day, but it was a constant need to bring fuel down here.
Right.
And belts breaking and oil changes, as I said, is more expensive. So far, this has worked really well.
And being able to sleep at night's worth a little something.
Yeah.
That's what,
but it is a lot more efficient.
Would you say, from your side, that as a general rule, Roanoke Electric responds positively when you call and you have an issue that you're trying to solve, you know, a problem?
Yes, I'd say very much so.
You know, and that's what we're here for, to be honest with you. I'll be straight up. I'm in the business of selling electricity. And
well, we've done other projects with three-phase and things like that, and everything was done as said it would be. And like he said, this situation, we don't have three-phase, and it was an opportunity to look at several different solutions to make it work. And this was the best scenario we came up with, and so far we like it.
And just so everybody kind of understands where we're going with this, this particular setup is the Bell single-phase motor, 100 horse, paired up to a three-phase generator. Okay, what we've been able to accomplish with that is this situation. We had in-ground well pumps.
3 of them.
3 of them, and we had in pond pump, main line pump that we had to run. So that ruled out the VFD for us and distances. But with this generator, we were able to go into a panel, allow for the multiple pumps and
Well, basically, it's the same thing we had down here, except we replaced the diesel engine with electric.
With electric.
We had a 100 kW generator before.
And, you know,
doing
we
the same
basically
thing.
just been able to convert over to electric, and we're able to accomplish the same mission. So this has been a positive, but I also like to give a little shout out to Bell Motors. In our business, what we often find is advertising and actuality can be 2 different things. In this particular case, Bell Motors, we found the amp loads, FLAs, everything has been as advertised, right by the book. The motor's built with oversized bearings. They're using larger casing and oversized bearings for durability, which is longevity and durability in a long-term project like an irrigation project, because we all know this doesn't pay back overnight. This takes time. So this you know, this for us being durable is a big plus.
Yeah.
Anybody, you got anything else you want to add?
I don't know. Appreciate all your help.
All right, that's good enough.
Okay, so I hope that just showcased to a lot of people that Roanoke has invested in the community. We're here to help the community grow. So any questions, anybody that needs more power or is looking to get off of diesel, please contact the engineering department here at Roanoke Electric. We'll certainly put forth the effort to see if we can solve your issues. That's what we're here for. We're here to help the member owners. And please, if you've got any questions about or needs for more electricity, please contact us and we'll see if we can work out a solution for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. Definitely also thank you to Mr. also for explaining the resources that are available, not only to our member owners, but to our local businesses. And again, everyone, if you'd like to speak more about specific solutions for your business or your home, definitely give our office a call. We're here to help you. We're here to answer any questions, find answers for you, whatever the best solution that's going to fit best for your lifestyle or your business or your home. Our next panelist will be speaking about a very hot topic, but also a potentially awesome opportunity for those who may want to avoid the high gas prices we're all seeing at the pumps at this time. So Patrice Jordan is the coordinator of community relations and engagement. She joined the staff of Roanoke Electric 22 years ago. She finds inspiration in actively engaging with people, and she has a heart's desire to be of service to all. Patrice is grateful to wake up every day with an opportunity to make a positive impact and difference in the lives of others. So Patrice, take it away.
Thank you, Brittany, and thank you all for the invitation. So to talk about Roanoke Electric EV pilot program. Roanoke Electric Cooperative is ramping up our electric vehicle program. Yes, we have joined electric cooperatives across the state, working towards zero carbon emissions by 2050 and 50% deduction by 2030. If you own an electric vehicle or interested in purchasing one, the Co-op's EV pilot program will work and offer member owners a discounted rate. EV owners can now enjoy the convenience of charging at home. We now have 5 member owners that are participating in our program. So don't wait, because the first 10 member owners to join our program will receive a $1,000 incentive. We also have an optional rate package for you to choose from based off of your driving habits, and a home charger installed at no upfront cost to the member owner that values at $1,700. Next slide. The question is, does it really pencil out? Well, with the recent rise in gas prices, yes, it does. How much should it cost to drive 15,000 miles per year? As you can see on this slide, the comparison of driving a gasoline vehicle or an electric vehicle, savings for 1 year. Driving a gas vehicle costs a little over $2,000 compared to driving an EV at the cost of $476. A year of driving is a year of saving. Switch to an EV and I guarantee you'll save big on fuel, which shows the estimated annual savings at $1,773. But hey, I have someone here today that's joining me. He's a member owner, Mr. Montgomery Clemens. He will be sharing his experience and testimonial of owning and driving an EV. So Mr. Clemens is a resident of Gates County since 2015 and a Navy veteran for 21 years. He currently works in software testing and analytics. He purchased his Tesla 1 year ago because of Ronald's EV home charging program. I'll turn it into your hand, Mr. Clemens.
Thank you very much, Patrice. As you said, when that program came out, my wife and I saw that we'll give you $1,000, we'll give you an electric charger, and we stopped thinking and started looking, and within a matter of a couple weeks, we found a car, and I think it took about a month to get everything finalized and to purchase the car. Best decision we ever made. I'm in my late 50s, and I've owned a lot of cars, motorcycles, some of them performance, some of them luxury cars over the years. I've been fortunate to drive other people's. There's nothing like an EV. The rate of acceleration is different because there's not a transmission. It makes them fun. But because of the battery being so low, it also makes them handle very well. Need to be redone. I just wanted to start at ground zero. They still had 3/4 of their pads left. So that brake job, I'll never have to do again. So that's a big part. Talking about the fuel costs. If you use a supercharger, it costs about twice of what I'm paying at home. And even using a supercharger, I drove from Gates County into Virginia Beach the other day, topped off my car, and my price was $3.17. You're not touching that in gas nowadays. And to boot, the car is a heck of a lot of fun to drive. They're very quiet. You don't have any engine noise. You do have tire noise, so it's still not going to be completely silent. All right, I got some notes here. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. One of the reasons why the brakes last so long is it's something that's called regenerative braking. So it's really a one pedal operation. You take your foot off the gas and the car starts to slow down. I think it makes them a little bit safer, that's for sure. Now, some of the concerns that people might have is range anxiety. And I can understand that, but there are advantages. With the home charger, I charge from home, and most of the thing that we do from home is a very short range. My car has a range of about 245 miles is what they say. And I'm going to cover that in a little bit. If you do need to go more than that, outside of here, there is a pretty good infrastructure of either superchargers or destination chargers. If you're going somewhere and you have plenty of time, you hook up to a destination charger. I have only been stuck one time, and that was when I bought the car. And that's because the person that I bought it from did not properly transfer ownership to me, and Tesla shut me down and locked me out because they thought I had stole the car from somebody else. So you know what? I think that's a positive too. All right. If you're going on the road, one of the things to look at is chargers. And I've put a video out covering a lot of this, but you want to make sure that you have chargers available. And via the co-op, they are putting chargers out there. Right now, they have one out at their office. They're talking about putting one over at Tar Heels. Each car has a different port, so you want to make sure that you have the right adapters. Okay, so most of those adapters, they'll come with the car. I've only had to buy two. I bought one specifically to use for a Chatamo charger, which is a very specific fast charger. And I bought a charger that before I was hooked up from Roanoke, I was able to hook into a dryer vent or a dryer outlet to keep things going. Range-wise, let's take a 300 mile range car because it's a nice, easy number. One of the things you want to consider is battery and making your battery last a long time. And there is a rule they talk about, which is the 20-80 rule. As long as you don't charge more than 80 and you charge down to 20%, your battery will last a good long time. Excessive uses of superchargers theoretically will degrade your battery. I can tell you that I have, as I said, over 100,000 miles. My car, when it was new, was rated at 265 miles range. Tesla put in a software patch to make the batteries last longer and cut it down to 245. 9 years later, I can still charge my battery to 237 miles. If you look at the original, that's an 11% degradation. If you look at the patch, it's only 3.3 loss of battery. To get twice the battery power in the same size package with more renewable materials. For the batteries that are already out there, they're recycling them so that they are very green and they won't get thrown away. They go back, they do some restorations, they take these cells, they patch them into your battery. So even though you may hear it's $20,000 to get a new battery, if your battery goes bad, you can probably fix it for about $3,000 or $4,000 and keep going. So cost-wise, not as bad as people want you to believe that it could be. Negatives on the vehicle, I think you could look at and say that you do have to pay a tax. All right, when you renew, I pay $130 a year because I'm not buying gas, and they want to make sure that they get the road tax money out of me. Other aspects that might be a negative is if you don't like the plan, when I have to stop to charge on the road, I have to plan for about 30 minutes. However, I go to somewhere, I make sure there's a restaurant or that just to do. I pull up, I charge, I go do what I'm going to do. I come back, I get back in my car and I go. And it has not been an inconvenience to me at all. So that's pretty much the gist of what I have. I did want to add on there to Bill and say thanks, because when he came up and he looked at my power situation we were building, he noticed that we were putting a garage, and he told me, you know, if you buy a 400 amp service meter, it's only going to cost you a couple $100 more. And if you ever want power in that garage, it'll be a simple setup. He saved me a fortune because I now have power in that garage charging this Tesla. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clemens, for sharing your experience and, of course, sharing with those in attendance the benefits of owning your Tesla. What's next? There are a lot of opportunities for member owners interested in purchasing an EV. Now we have grant funding for prospective member owners by helping them purchase their first electric vehicle and hopefully enrolling them into our EV home charging program. And as Mr. Clemens stated, yes, we plan to install more public chargers throughout our service area to help with the anxiety of driving an electric vehicle. And we understand the need beyond charging at home. Again, don't wait. Schedule a call into the office, speak with me, of course, and schedule a test ride with our Tesla Model 3. And visit our electric vehicle page on the website for more information. And let's continue the conversation by joining our EV community group. You can contact me again, send me an email with your name and address. And last, help us recruit more member owners who have interest in purchasing an electric vehicle. Thank you all. Back into your hands, Brittany and Avery.
Thanks for that timely information, and be sure to contact us about how an electric vehicle may fit into your lifestyle. Next, we have Mrs. Angela Washington, who will give us an update of another hot topic, Ronald Connect. Angela joined Ronald Connect as the Director of Broadband Marketing and Sales for Ronald Connect. She is an established marketing executive with a passion for implementing solid sales and marketing strategies. Previously, Angela worked for the Cox Communication and in the past, the president of the Virginia chapter of Women in Cable and Telecommunications. Angela, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful meeting. A lot of exciting things happening at REC, and I am pleased to speak with you today about something I'm very passionate about, which is bringing broadband to our member owners and surrounding areas. So just as a highlight, built over 300 miles of fiber. And that 1,700 customers was as of 3/15, and we built over 300 miles of fiber, and we're building fiber every single day. Unless there's a significant weather event, which we've had a few of those, we may not be building on those particular days, but every single day we are building fiber. We've recently launched 3 areas in particular that I just wanted to highlight. We've launched Fire Tower Road and Highway 158. We've recently launched Center Grove Road, and we've also launched area in Windsor. So we're very excited about those 3 areas that have recently been launched. When we talk about what's on the horizon or what's to come next, I love this picture of this little girl. She's just so excited, and that's how I feel. But I think people will think something's wrong with me if I just start doing this all the time. But I hope this picture just translates how excited we are about what's on the horizon for Ronald Connect in March, and that's this month. So we have like a couple of weeks left in March. We are going to be launching Roanoke Rapids. We are extremely excited about this in all of our areas. But to go into Roanoke Rapids, we're very excited about that. Within 2 weeks, customers will start to hear from me or get a phone call from members of my team to let them know that service is now available. Mr. Jeffers, you're going to be the first one we call. I don't want you first one we call in that area. But again, I'm very excited about that coming up in March. That's a very big build for us. In April, we'll be launching Oyulander and Woodville as well. So these are the things that are coming up in the next, what I'm going to call month and a half, and extremely excited about that. As we look forward to what's going to occur in 2022, we have made a commitment that we're going to start building 25 miles of fiber per week in our territory. And so that we're extremely excited about that and the ability to bring broadband even faster to our member owners. So again, I wanted to highlight that. Previously, you heard from Mr. Clemens regarding his EV. Mr. Clemens is also a Roanoke Connect customer. And I would like for him to just share a few minutes about his experience with Roanoke Connect.
How you doing again? So, yeah, that's one of the advantages of having an EV is that I had to have Wi-Fi. And we were concerned about that in the beginning. We had talked about with Patrice about that. and we had to come up with some plans while we were waiting for the Wi-Fi to get installed. I also work remote. I work from home. I test software, and there is no internet available out here that would consistently let me test software effectively. So I was working via a hotspot on my phone, and exact time that Roanoke Electric came into my area. And once we started seeing the lines go up, it wasn't long at all. And they had Wi-Fi up into our house. I won't say it never goes down. It rarely goes down. And when it does go down, it's a phone call. It's no time at all. I think the longest I was ever out was due to somebody, I think, hitting a telephone pole and taking out a line, and it was 8 hours. I did opt for the 1 gigahertz service, sorry. And I tell you, it's crazy fast. Even running on Wi-Fi, I'm still running about 887 megs on Wi-Fi. So I tell you, it's reliable. It's great. They're very friendly. Any problems I've ever had have been fixed. Even when I was stupid and I cut the line with a shovel, they were out, fixed it right away, and hooked me up. So God bless you all. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clemens. And again, you know, it's wonderful to have our member owners obviously see the value that we see in the product, and to be able to share that. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and so thankful that you're having a great experience with your service. So for those of you who do not have the service yet or may be waiting for it to come, I encourage you to go ahead and sign up. You can call us at the number on the screen, press option 4, or you can register online. We do not get rid of those registries. We do not get please do not hesitate to go ahead and register with us. With that being said, I just want to remind everybody of our free hotspot areas. We do this every power hour, not to be repetitive, but we do have places where you can utilize free Wi-Fi. So I wanted to share that with you. With that being said, that ends the Roanoke Connect update for March. I'm so excited to share with you on the next power hour the great success and also the additional areas that we have launched from now until then. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those updates, Angela, and for that testimonial, Mr. Clemens. It's always great to hear from our member owners, just to know the value that we're putting out, that member owners really do see value in the services and programs that we kind of come up with after hearing their feedback, seeing what's needed in our area. And now we're going towards the end of the speakers. We'll open the floor up for questions. I'll ask that all of our panelists, please just open up your cameras, unmute your mics. And if any participants have any questions, please put them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourselves and we'll get your questions answered. Also, if you have any specific questions about Roanoke Connect and when it'll be in your area, just please go ahead on and drop your name in the chat and a good contact number, and someone will definitely follow up with you directly to answer those questions. So again, we'll go ahead on and open it up for any burning questions that participants may have. I don't see any in the chat right now, but we have a good 10 minutes left of the hour.
Brittany, I do have a question.
Okay.
This is Columbus Jeffers, and this question will be for Mrs. Washington concerning broadband. We are excited too about being connected to this super fast Wi-Fi that's coming. one concern I think in our area that we may have, and I think I'm going to have, is right now I'm with Spectrum, and they offer 3 services to us. One being Wi-Fi, the other one being voice. I'm going to sign up, but television is probably going to be one of the main things in our area I'm concerned about our customers. Do you foresee anywhere in the future that we will be able to offer TV to our customers in the Roanoke Rapids area?
That's a great question, Mr. Jeffers. There's a couple of different ways that we have discussed doing so. Potentially, eventually, in the traditional format. One of the things that I have experienced in previous places where we've brought broadband to areas is utilizing devices such as Fire Sticks or Roku from a TV perspective. And that's something that we will encourage persons to do, because many times you can get the programming via those channels. IPTV can be pretty expensive, but Bo and I have been looking at the cost in providing TV and what's a best solution. But right now, I think we're telling customers, trying to really have a conversation with them. What do you watch? And those types of things, and trying to educate them on the best device that they can get that.
Right.
And so right now it's, most customers are leaning towards Fire Stick and those types of devices. So it is our hope to continue down that path and determine how we move forward in the future.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that question. And I'm just checking the chat one last time. Don't see where anyone has submitted anything, but again, feel free, unmute your mics. If you have any questions about anything you've heard today or any other program that we may have not mentioned, we'll feel free to ask, because we'll definitely go ahead on. We have the staff here that are capable of getting you whatever answer you're needing. So this is your time. I'll do a go ahead.
This is Mr. Clemens. I can actually add to that TV aspect because we actually have that concern, and we have addressed it because we have super fast internet. Streaming is very easy. So I haven't had cable, any type of paid TV service in years. We put a decent sized antenna up. The hard thing is finding somebody to install an antenna anymore. Nobody wants to go up on a roof. However, with an antenna, I get about, 30 or so channels. I get plenty of channels that come in on the digital side of the house. And then my wife and I, we flip-flop between Hulu, Disney. There's a couple other services that we have. Some of them we got free because of our phone service. We signed up and we got a few free, and then we flip-flop every few months and change service so we get different stations. And we're not paying more than about, I think I'm paying $15 a month total for all the services. And I have more TV than I can watch or care to watch.
Well, great. I'm glad to hear that. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no more questions, we would like to thank all of our panelists today for sharing all of that great information. And I hope you all will take advantage of these opportunities and spread the word.